Today COVID rules changed both here and in the UK. After waiting an extra month in limbo, we still hadn't received our residency, so now both staying here or going home was made considerably more difficult. It's a tricky situation because the Brexit line doesn't answer their phone, although that was supposed to have gone live and be up and running I don't know how many days ago. She'll try her best to get back to us. Let's do something to take our minds. Seeing that things were gradually getting worse, we had decided to cut our losses and hop on a ferry this Friday. That, however, had just been shot to shit. A little shell-shocked and not really knowing the next move, we decided to make banana bread.
Banana.
Looks disgusting.
Yeah, but it smells alright.
It does smell good.
The banana cake of denial and ignoring
Yeah.
the outside world.
Goodbye.
Yeah, it's got a vomit appeal to it.
Yeah. Banana and whiskey? Is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a bit runny actually. I haven't measured anything, so good, no idea.
Butch had more of an idea than me, so I got out the way and attempted to do some work. But the laptop chose today to drop a bollock and totally stop working. So rather than getting any work done, I had to sit and try and clear it out and get it running up to speed again. We were frustrated and the stress levels within the van were only heightening, so we decided with the gap in the rain we'd clear our heads and take Lance for a walk. Come on, Lance. So how much of a mess you've made of the track in the wet. Oh dear. Deep. Then the gap in the rain just sort of ended. And it was now that I found the zip on my coat had broke off. Bad move. Today was going great. 10 minutes. You got that wet in 10 minutes. Lovely. Come on. Do some flood control.
Is it working?
It is still working, isn't it?
Oh dear.
Oh, bust a bank.
Go.
That's it, Lance. Drink it dry. Just as we get back, it goes blue sky. I bet it'll stay like this for like an hour as well. How long ago was it? A couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Come down here and like reinstated all these diversions that got clogged. So we're trying to keep the water away from trickling down here and trickling down our big hill. So we've got at least half a chance of getting in and out. So the water's going to go off into the woods before it gets to us. Blue sky just for the arrival. Yeah, now it's just a mere trickle. And it doesn't spill into the road either, does it? I can't believe I lost the footage. There's the skid mark, look. Yeah, we nearly hit this tree the other day. But I can't show it you because the GoPro corrupted it. And then one last one there. There's still a little bit coming off, I guess. Not as bad as it was though, is it?
No, not too much. I mean, it rained a lot.
Yeah. I think this is just the worst bit, innit? If you lose your momentum here,
Yeah,
that's it.
Really soft, like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the problem lies. Take it all away. No, it is not. But hey, the banana bread has not combusted and set fire to the house, so
Hey.
that would be the worst thing to
Get
happen. Yeah, it just explodes now. Oh, everything looks so dank and horrible. Back indoors. Right, just come out here. back from the dog walk. Emma's gone back into the van. That's not sweat mark, by the way, that's the rain that's got in behind my coat. Yeah, I didn't really want to do this with Emma around because she's upset enough as it is today. In case I haven't already explained it, and I don't even know when you guys are going to be seeing this, but for us today is when it's been announced that this hotel quarantine thing's been introduced. We've obviously already got enough on our plates. We were supposed to be leaving here Friday, and even that has come with some sort of hardship because it's now getting in through February and we still haven't heard back whether we're getting our residency or not. So we've had that limbo to deal with, the lockdown's here to deal with. We just kind of got to the point where we're like, right, let's just cut our losses, go home and resume it whenever we're allowed to come back here, because Emma's got to get home for work. Her boss is now on our case. And it's been difficult to try and figure out when's best to go because of every day it bloody changes. This new measure, hotel measures, it's going to cost £1,700 to be forced to stay in a hotel. I think it's ridiculous, considering, you know, if you've got somewhere to go in quarantine, why would you go into a building full of other people? Just, yeah, I guess I won't go into that too much. So yeah, now we're just kind of in even more of a limbo than we've ever been. If we get stuck here beyond March and the residency is still not sorted, we're going to have to apply for an emergency visa or something like that. But until we can go, our lives are basically on hold. Emma's more than mine, and that's what's really getting to me now. The past few weeks I've just been feeling this pressure to get her back because we weren't supposed to be out this long. I've dragged her out to this country, pulled her away from a family and a job, and now I can't even get her home. It's all turned into a bit of a nightmare. I don't really know what to do, to be honest. We'd literally planned this morning, we'd gone on the government website and there was more clarity on what tests we need to do to get there, and we're like, right, cool, Friday is the day. There's all sort of, you know, you've got to get your tests and the dog sorted and within the 36 hours and get back to the UK and do all that, then get to your quarantine spot. It was hard enough anyway, but we'd sussed it. And then an hour later, Hancock come on the TV, didn't he, and f***ed it for everyone. So yeah, that's how today's gone. The wheels are starting to fall off slightly. I mean, things are getting tougher here. Like, we haven't even been able to get out to go and get paint to finish the shed. We can't get any more wood. So it's not like we're just kind of plodding on. We've done what we can do. We were like ready to like call it now. Get back and just see what the rest of the year brings. But once again, as per, we're just in limbo. After a few hours of sitting down and trying to figure out our options, we've come up with a plan. We're weighing up the option of just getting Emma a flight home, just to get her back before these new restrictions come in, which obviously sucks because it's a very swift and quite brutal end to what we've been doing here. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to leave her, I want to get her back. But just checked all the ferries. The Santander and Bilbao ones are now done. They had pet-friendly cabins on board, which you require to travel, but it's not. They're gone. Sorry, my head's a bit all over the place today. It's been a bit of a... Just getting out of Portugal is hard at the moment. Get to Spain, then deal with all of Spain's restrictions, then get across the French border, which is bad, then drive through France with all the restrictions. There's apparently a new sticker I need for the van to drive through France, which how the hell I get that at the moment, God only knows, and then get more tests and the dog's inoculation, and get onto a ferry or the tunnel in time. It's just, we can't figure it out. So at the moment the clearest option is for Emma to get on a plane, so she's home safe, and that leaves me here. Yeah, I think all this has upset her quite a bit. It's upset me as well, because, you know, last year we just didn't see each other, and then we faced that prospect again towards the end of the year, and we were like, no, took this risk, and it's been amazing. It's been so nice to have her here. Every worry I had about living in the van, there just hasn't been any issue. I think both, whether I stay here or whether we both go back to England, we're not going to see each other again. She lives in Oxford, I'm based in the Midlands. So we're going back to not being able to see each other. The flights were crazy. There was hardly any to choose from. They were ridiculously priced, and most of them had 6 to 12 hour layovers. And the prospect of Emma being gone after all this time and me being locked down on my own didn't really bear thinking about. But it seemed the only option we had. Emma had to get back before this new forced hotel thing come in, and I had the van, Lance, and all of our stuff. Even I can't just stay. Thanks to the lack of residency and Brexit, my 90 days were ticking down. So if I stayed beyond that, I'd be fined and future travel would be made very difficult. We managed to find her a flight for, well, I'm not going to say it was reasonable at all. Her layover was 5 hours in the Netherlands, but before she could even get on that, she needed a COVID test. Okay, situation update. I haven't really been doing any recording today. Been racking our brains trying to figure out what we're going to do. And we found a flight for Emma. So in 2 days she's got a flight from Lisbon. We've got to go now to go and get her a COVID test, and then pray to God that the results come back in time. So yeah, we've got to go to Castella Branca now. It's all become a bit of a rush, bit sudden. It's everywhere we look, it's just getting harder and harder. Every day is changing, and especially to get the van and the dog back and everything else, I'm just going to wait here and deal with whatever comes. But Emma's got to get back for work, so anyway, I've already said that I think earlier. So what's happening now is I am draining the tank on the van because everything's still soaking, and I don't know if we're going to make it up the hill. Hope so, because that would just be the last little nail in our coffin, really. The EasyJet site where Emma had booked a flight was starting to show some worrying signs, like the fact it wasn't loading.
It just keeps like appearing and disappearing.
We carried on and got packed down, ready to get to Castella Branca. Again, because of lack of residency, we couldn't get a normal COVID test like everyone else. We had to go private. I'd say the track today was the wettest it's ever been. It was completely waterlogged, as you saw earlier. But regardless, we had to get out, so we were going to give it a try. Emma's just gone for a test, and I'm just waiting for her to call back. Sorry, this isn't exactly entertainment right now, is it? It's polar opposite of that. It's all become rush and panic and all over again. And I've had enough. I've had enough of it. Anyway, so Emma's getting a flight at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow morning. No, day after tomorrow morning. Sorry, as I'm doing this, like 10 other things are going through my head. Then drop Emma off, and then I'm on my own again.
Yeah, he was really nice. I went in like earlier. I thought I don't know if I can go in because like the door was just open. It's like, and then there's like a dude dressed in green, just like wiping everything down and stuff. I have gelled my hands, but I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, and he just like waved me in, and then he went, Emma, and I was like, oh, you were really nice. Yeah, he was fine, and then I was like, oh, thank God, he was like the only one in there. And he did it, and I was like, oh, thank God, you were really nice.
And that's it then, we have to wait.
Yeah, he said about 30 hours, he reckons, but it can be up to 48. So he said it can be like either tomorrow evening or like 4 in the morning or something.
And
but I'll get an email.
At 5 in the morning. Or is that the night after?
The night after.
Right, okay.
It's 10th today.
And the flight is?
12th.
Right, okay, yeah.
You need to go in there, get your nostrils open.
Yeah.
I can... I was like, shit, I don't know what he's pulled out here.
Yeah.
But, oh.
Is it weird?
Yeah. He's like, it doesn't hurt. It feels like when you go swimming and you get water up your nose. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then he was like, look up, look up, look up, look up. And I was like, oh my God. And then it's just like, he's in there for ages.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to give you a minute before we do the other side. I was like, oh God, no. Wow. He was quite funny though, because he went, right, you paid now, it's done. I was like, and he was like, I was like, oh, okay, I'm so nervous, you can't joke right now.
As Emma explained to me the intricacies of her COVID test, and then we now need to get her to Lisbon, and hopefully her results will come in before the flight, I was wallowing in a pit of guilt, worrying about the fact that I'm sending her off on her own through multiple airports during a pandemic, and also selfishly worrying about being on my own and how I'm going to manage to get back. And if the restrictions and situation's going to keep getting worse, we just didn't know. With all this swimming around my head, a silent decision was made. We were going to drive back. The journey alone was colossal and the hurdles were almost impassable. But we'd come this far, and if the journey was over, it was over together. Which was handy actually, because later on all of the flights and Spanish ferries got cancelled. We called the test clinic back up, but he could only fit me in the morning, leaving a 12-hour gap between mine and Emma's tests. And considering we only had 72 hours to get into the UK from the moment that test is done, this made our situation a logistical thunder. So we had to sit down and plan our route down to the hour, including leniencies and backup plans, because if any one of these things goes wrong, borders hold us up, the tests don't come back in time, we're screwed.
Oh. Remember back at New Year when everyone thought 2021 was going to be like?
Yeah, what? I mean, what douchebag?
So I could just beep it out.
Like in my head, I think I've got to get back now. Like all against what I want to do, really, but
yeah,
I think maybe I've got to swallow it.
The flights are ridiculous.
They are crazy. That stopover.
9 hours. The whole thing.
5 hours stopover, yeah.
So that's the bit I don't really want. I want you to do.
No,
I really don't want to just send you off on a plane. I promised your mother I would look after you. Yeah,
You have.
Have a back. I'm going to stay in the sun.
But that's what I was saying earlier about, like, I don't want you to just go back because you don't want me to sit in an airport for 5 hours. And then you get home and then you're miserable and you've got nothing to do. It's not exactly fair.
And I keep having that thought every now and again, like, what are you going to do when you get back? But at the same time, like, what am I going to do here?
Dig.
There's some digging to be done.
Lots of digging.
But, like, I still don't know Portuguese. Even if I did, you can't really go and talk to people. Their lockdown could extend. I could just wind up slowly going mad on this hill on my own. I can't weigh up which one's, for me, selfishly, which one's better. This feels like the first lockdown camp all over again, when we found out we had to leave. It just keeps happening. Yeah, I mean, we've played a fair amount of PlayStation. We've watched a fair amount of movies.
Yeah.
You get to like day 3 of being on my own, I'm like, done it all.
Oops.
What do I do now? And then you'll FaceTime me and I'll have got one of Lance's balls and put some straw in your face on it.
Tennis balls.
Hey?
Tennis balls.
Yeah. Just,
Not his testicles.
no. No. Oh god, there's an image. Oh dear. No, we said we were going back. I think it's time to go back. And hunt for a unit, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's, like, as soon as I get some actual bloody signal, it's the first thing I'm going to be doing, I think. We'll have things to do and somewhere to be.
Yeah. Is there a brew behind you?
Yeah.
My god.
By Jove.
I can't just stay here without you. What? I'm going to waste away. I know my van's good, but
Yeah.
every time I do a long haul like this, it's like, please don't break.
Yeah.
So from 10:40 tomorrow, we have 72 hours and get Lance's pet thing done tomorrow. 72 hours.
You have 72 hours.
Hey?
You have 72 hours.
Yeah, you have less. Your time has started now. That's fucking stupid.
I know.
You only have 72 hours. Okay, so if we're going from today, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, that's just Saturday, not Sunday. And we can't have any delay on the results because we won't get through the French border.
No.
So best case scenario, we're going to get through it. My results will come in day after tomorrow, and then whatever time that is, we can then cross the border. But best case scenario, we've got less than a day.
Google Maps said 16.5 hours
Yeah.
to Dieppe, and then we added.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go on maps and see. No, I'm not, because I haven't got any signal. But I don't know what France's thing is.
I haven't even looked at France because we didn't think it would be our option, so I haven't looked into it.
Are we allowed in? Has France got a red zone? We haven't
No.
looked into it, have we?
It's not on the UK's red list, like ban list.
No, but is Portugal on France's ban list? Because if that's the case, we can't be in France.
We just have to
I never
transit, I
thought of
guess.
that one. Yeah, but if we then can't get on the
Yeah,
ferry.
I know. Yeah.
On a better note, that's a lot of food.
Oh man.
Oh.
There's a lot of food. I think I'm so hungry that I'm not
every time I think of this, it just makes me feel sick.
Yeah, I feel a bit sick.
Once we cross that Portuguese border, we can't come back.
No.
We had to make sure that we were within the rules of 3 countries' COVID restrictions. We also had to make sure that we had all the appropriate paperwork for the 3 borders. We had all new post-Brexit rules that we had to figure out. Lance needed his inoculation. We need to drive almost solidly for 22 hours, of which the van cannot break down. And we had to get back before the 15th to avoid going into a Travelodge detention camp. We had to set off without even having our test results, making it really squeaky bum. But by the end of the night, I think we had it sussed. We had to get up early, call the FDS because their site was down and we needed to confirm there was a ferry to get onto. At 10 o'clock, Lance had his vet appointment in Castelo Branco to get his inoculation. In a Castelo Branco, we'd fuel up, including jerry can, and get everything we need, so we had to stop as little as possible. We were aiming for a run in Spain, which is basically the last town before the French border, meaning we were driving through Portugal and the entirety of Spain in one, sleep for a few hours and then pray to the gods that we have our test results, at which point we can then cross the French border. We had extra forms to fill in for France, like why we were driving through, evidence that we had means to leave the country, and a form explaining why we were driving through the night and breaking their night curfew. At that point, if we get across the border, we had 10 hours to get all the way up through France to Dieppe, where our ferry was departing at 6, the last ferry before it was too late. So as a fail-safe, if things went really wrong, we had a backup of the Eurotunnel, which would take us 2 extra hours to get to, and was also unclear at that point if when we get to the UK, would we be in the old rules or the new hotel rules. If this didn't work, we were in the hotels, and there was no clarification on where the van gets parked, what happens to Lance, whether we were allowed to stay together or in separate rooms. All we knew was we'd face a £1,750 bill each. So yeah, I think it's safe to call this a challenge. We will finish you one day.
I thought the sun would have been nice today.
Sun would have been nice today.
We're going to Castelo Branco for my COVID test, then to the vet for Lance's inoculation tablet, and as an added bonus, because he loves them so much, he got an extra jab. Inoculation, jab and flea and tick collar still cost half the amount of one jab in the UK. Just saying.
What's this, Lance? You've been a good boy. Hey, go on in. Om nom nom. Gone. Good lad.
Nope. Then it was the last fuel stop, including jerry can, that should get us most of the way through Spain.
Okay, fueled up, GPL done, Lance thing done, my nose rape done. I can't see. Raining again. I'm just so f***ing miffed.
I prefer miffed.
Miffed is the word of the day.
Just feels right. What should I put in Spain?
Arun, my GPL, no, GPS isn't working.
Surprise, surprise.
Everything we need is on board.
As we come out of the supermarket car park, we had quite a fateful meeting with a Dutch lady. She also lived in Portugal off-grid and was asking what our plans were. After telling her about our woes and the fact that we're leaving, she bestowed some words of wisdom on us. I don't think she realised how much those words meant and how much they helped.
Kind of like fate. On the day that we leave, at the exact same spot I left last time to come home, she comes over, she knew me in the van, and she was just like, don't worry about your residency. Do what you need to do. Life's good, man.
What she said?
Yeah. She was proper like super hippie chick, she was cool.
And she's nearby?
She's like this way, I think. She said east. I found that a number of times. On the trip when the gearbox exploded, it was like in a proper down mood. The van was horrendous to drive. And yeah, I met up with a Spanish and American couple. She was Spanish, he was American. And just started chatting away about my woes and stuff. And then we cracked open a beer. And there were so many things that they said, like, they just kind of put me at ease. Like, I wasn't even sure if we were going to get home and stuff, but they were just like so relaxed and so chill.
Yeah.
It was just really like, you know what, it's alright. Yeah, and like the trip was over, but he's like, it's never over, man.
Oh.
I was like, you're right.
It doesn't have to be.
It's never over. And this guy is doing 2 miles an hour, so this journey will never be over.
Oh, I want this one to be.
Yeah, well, we're 10 minutes in to 22 hours.
Doing well.
Yeah. Where's the Red Bulls?
You're not having one of them yet.
Oh, why not?
Because you're going to want it later and I don't want to listen to you whinge.
Oh my god, he's turning there. Oh, you f***ing dare.
Just with stones around.
Yeah, this, I drove past this last time. Stonehenge, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
The weather maintained its miserable wet spat, but somehow we'd managed to pull through and was actually keeping quite upbeat. Until we found out our route to Spain was closed.
Oh dear.
Portuguese border crossings had been restricted and you had to go to allocated manned ones.
Oh, for sake. I have any signal.
Annoying. However, translating this sign definitely gave us a laugh.
Well.
Alright then. I mean, I don't want to go to Little Butt Spring.
Well, I mean, it's... Well, let's have a look. Look, even when I click the road the other side of the border, it's taking us round. Like that's shit. An hour extra. You're shit.
That was aimed at the sat-nav, not Emma. So we had to turn around and make our way to another border crossing that was about an hour away. But that one was closed too.
I can see the sign.
Our clock was ticking, the schedule was tight and the pressure was building. We had to be at the top of Spain by tomorrow and we hadn't even made out of Portugal yet.